Hello, good day to you. It's Talkin really, and Andy Wright here. And just to say that today is Tuesday. I didn't make any videos yesterday because I was trying to keep away from the crap that's going on in the world. After you keep on making videos and reading about everything, it does actually get to you in the end. It really does. It builds up, and you just get to the point of despair where you just think, how do we end this? How do we stop it? Because it's like a roller coaster on the way down the slope to oblivion, and you can see it's going to happen, but you can't do anything about it. You can't get off the ride. And this is how I feel at the moment with all of the stuff that's going on, because the data is there, but people don't see it. Or they're not willing to see it. They're not willing to open up their eyes and actually notice what is going on. And the evidence is there. There are lots of people, professional people, that's qualified, doctors and everybody else, scientists, who are saying what is true, and it's based on science and data. But nobody seems to want to listen. Least of all, the people in charge of this country. And we all know they're puppets. We all know that there's an agenda going on. And we all know where we're going with this. But there's nothing anybody can do. And it's very, very disappointing. More so when you actually make videos about it, because you have to engage. You can't just walk away from it. You can't just turn off your TV and say, that's it, and ignore it, and it will all go away, because it won't. It won't go away, but also because I'm making videos, I have to expose myself to it as well. So anyway, that's the background, why I never made any videos, well, since Friday, I think it was, last video I made. As we go through the week, we have a plethora of stories, and I'm making this video because I want to give it to the people out there who are, they say on Facebook or things like that, social media, they say, oh, I can't wait for the vaccine to come, and then I'll have it, and then I'll be perfectly back to normal. Now, people, if you're saying that, I want you to listen carefully to this video, because the man who has got an invested interest in this, because he has shares and an interest in making vaccines. His words are quite clear. So I want you to listen. If you're one of those people that says you're going to be at the front of the queue, you're going to be lining up, ready to go, like you do for the flu vaccine, which obviously doesn't work either, because there's so many people die from that, yet they've had it for 75 years. That's another story, right? If you're going to be one of those sheep lining up, ready to go, you need to look at this video right now. Right, this story, Guardian. I know we're talking about Guardian, but hey, they do come out with some good stories every now and again when they're not gaslighting and speeding the propaganda. What reason they have not to tell this story is the truth, I don't know, but the story's out. This is the Chief Scientific Officer. Yes, that one. Mr. Vallance, who has a vested interest in he has shares in the vaccine company. So making the current vaccine, he has shares. He has been proven to have them. He has a link to the vaccine. He has a vested interest, put it that way. He wants to get this vaccine out because the more that he sells, the more money he will make. It's simple. You cannot argue that. Now, why would he say COVID vaccine will not be available in the UK until spring? Now, that's not the most important paragraph. The most important paragraph is this one. A vaccine against coronavirus will not eradicate the disease or be widely available before the spring. Let me say that again. A vaccine against coronavirus will not eradicate the disease. Do you want that again? Just to make sure. A vaccine against coronavirus will not eradicate the disease. I don't know how clear that you can make that. It's in writing. And it's his words. Right? So this is a guy that has a vested interest in getting the vaccine out so that you sheepy can go and have it and line up for it and get back to normal, which is unfortunately never going to happen, I'm sorry to say. We are now in normal unless you get off your arse and do something about it. Now, you might be sitting there going, oh, here we go. He's on about that again. Yes, I'm on about that again because it's very important. The more you do nothing, the more you walk into mandatory vaccinations for no reason. This vaccine will not eradicate the disease. It's not rocket science, is it? Let's face it. Come on, guys. How simple can you be not to understand what is being said by a guy who has a vested interest in this to sell? He's not really selling it, is he? If he was really selling this, he would say, yeah, have it because it'll get rid of it. Yeah. It's fantastic. Yeah, line up for it. Yeah, right. He was giving evidence to the Joint Commons and Laws National Security Strategy Committee. He said that before COVID, it had never taken less than about 5 years to develop a vaccine from scratch, with an average time of 10 years. But that new vaccine technologies had helped to shrink that time frame. However, Vallance stressed that while a number of vaccines had been shown to trigger antibodies, there was still a long way to go before a jab was widely available. He was asked by the Conservative MP Tobias Ellwood, who is also part of the 77th Brigade, look that up, whether the government needed to manage the message so far. Far better if we are to keep the national resolve in what will be 6 very difficult months ahead of us. So basically what he's saying, because he is part of the 77th Brigade, which is all about manipulating social media and what you believe in by propaganda, he's saying there that we need to keep the fear going, the national resolve, so the desire for a vaccine for another 6 months. So you can see what they're saying. They're saying that they're going to keep this going for another 6 months because they want to push this vaccine, which Mr. Vallance has said probably is not going to be very good. It's not going to work. And then he said, in response to Tobias Ellwood, 77th Brigade, I do think that we should not overpromise. I think it's very important that we give a realistic picture of where things are. He added that the results from phase 3 of the clinical trials were expected soon, which would provide crucial information. Vallance said that while there might be doses available sooner, it is unlikely it would be rolled out for use in the community before spring 2021. Now, also, he says, in giving evidence, Vallance also stressed that it was unlikely coronavirus could be completely stamped out, pointing out that only one human disease had ever been eradicated, that was smallpox, and that required a highly effective vaccine. It is likely that this disease will circulate and be endemic. My best assessment, and I think that's the view of many people on Sage, that this is a likely outcome. Clearly, as management becomes better, as you get vaccination, which would decrease the chances of infection and the severity of a disease which is hardly severe at all. This then starts to look more like annual flu than anything else. Well, there you go, that proves it. He's got a guilty conscience now, because the next paragraph, it feels like he's saying, yeah, maybe I have been a little bit naughty with what I've been saying. Have I felt uncomfortable at times during this? Of course I have. It has been a position of visibility which I wouldn't seek, and it's a position of visibility which I do not enjoy from that side. But I don't think we have done anything other than try to present the science as we see it in the fairest way, with that uncertainty clear. Yeah, right. So Mr. Vallance, the one that they listened to quite clearly, has said, probably with a guilty conscience about what he's been promoting, he has said quite categorically that the vaccine normally takes 5 to 10 years to develop, and it will not eradicate the disease. That's all I have to say. So have a good day, and bye for now.